right there. So we appreciate you guys coming, and of course, as you just saw, this slide reminds me to hit the record button, and I don't need it every time, but sometimes I have presidential moments, and I had to be reminded. So happy for that, and they are being recorded on Zoom. And Denny Crane, being the CTAT local law expert, always reminds us every month that these Zoom-based meetings are posted on social media platforms such as YouTube, and you may participate with the video off if so desired. But if you participate with it on, then this is your legal notification, and by participating with it on, you're giving us permission to post it on YouTube. So thank you guys for being on here. Again, we're celebrating 25 years of CTAT all year long, and I think that's amazing. Just when you sit and think about it, and it's incredible what an organization it was and has become and has been, and it's just growing and getting better. 100% because of the membership involved. This is season 5 of our professional roundtable. We closed season 5 in July at the CTAC conference, and we'll start season 6 in August of 2025. Looking forward to that. Robin, it just seems incredible that we've had 5 seasons of this, and we'll be going into season 6. It just blows my mind. Makes me think about getting old too. Again, we have all these May memes, and I'm going to skip right over the memes and go to the famous birthdays that we have today. Now, don't blame me for the birthdays, guys. Sometimes they're more interesting than others, but I can't control when people were born. And trust me, this is the best of the best. In 1956, Kenny G was born, and of course, he's a famous saxophonist. And I most remember Kenny G because he did the mall openings on The Simpsons. And so when I think Kenny G, that's what I think of. Jeff Garland, who plays Larry David's manager on the Larry David Show. And also, what's that other ABC show he was on, Chelsea? You Gen Zers, what's that? The Goldbergs. He also played the dad on the Goldbergs, but I think of him as Larry David's uh, manager. And probably the most interesting birthday on June 5th happened in 1850 when Sheriff Pat Garrett was born. And Sheriff Pat Garrett is famous because he is the man that shot Billy the Kid. And if you ever have listened to any Marty Robbins songs, then Big Iron is based on Sheriff Pat Garrett. So treat yourself. That is a great song. Marty Robbins, Big Iron. And the biggest event that probably happened on this day, June 5th, happened in 1956. On the Milton Berle Show, Elvis introduced his new single, Hound Dog, and performed it in a tuxedo, actually singing to a hound dog. And there's a picture of the king. It's hard to come across a date in history that you can't relate back to Elvis. So thank you, King, for singing to that hound dog in 56. Working together is what CTAT is always about. And we know that you have other priorities and other things you could be doing during this hour. So coming on here to help your fellow members, we certainly appreciate that. As always, we're going to thank our board of directors led by Dr. Mark McClure, who at Cleveland ISD is our board president, our past president, Tally Joe Stout. Other president-elect Paul Ball and Sherry Bonds, who is now the finance chair, but was the president, I guess, 2 cycles ago. We certainly appreciate all you guys and all you board members and for your leadership in the CTAT organization. And of course, none of this would happen without our area presidents, and we're going to have to update this slide probably next in August, because we will have new area presidents coming on. Areas are having elections, but area presidents serve a huge role. And when I think of area presidents, Chelsea, I think of them like little league coaches. It's like they take on an extra job that probably feels just as important as their current job. And so in a lot of ways, that's exactly what it's like. So thank you to all the area presidents, and we appreciate your leadership. The CTAT Summer Conference is coming up on us quick, and that's going to be July 21st through the 24th. And we have some special guests and some conference information that we're going to share with. And I'm going to turn it over to Robin Panovich. Oh, hang on. I have a slide for you, Robin. Right there, Executive Director, CTAT. Robin.
I'm so glad you still have that picture from 10 years ago. It makes me feel like a real estate agent. Don't lose it.
Yeah, you get 6% commission.
Thank you, Mark. So I'm jumping in just to talk about partnership for a second. Great partnerships create great experiences, and that's always our goal at conference for you guys is to come to learn, have a great fellowship, and a great experience overall. Um, that makes our conference more than just a professional development event. It's a celebration. It's a collaboration of community and shared purpose. That's what we're all about. And we're only able to deliver events that have exceptional quality and exceptional value with outstanding food, energizing sessions, receptions that people talk about for months because of our partners. And today, I just want to say a special thank you to ICEV. Their support doesn't just fund a line item for CTAT or for conference, it fuels our mission. They are a true partner to us. And so I'd like to offer a huge thank you to ICEV, their staff, their CEO, Dusty Moore, who is here today, for being our title sponsor and championing CTE in everything that they do. Their belief is what makes a real impact on what you experience all through the year, not just at conference. And so, Mark, if I can just
You should
share
have
my slide
co-host
here.
permission.
Thank goodness, because you can't trust Mark Boshier to share the slide. So speaking of experience, CTAT's reception this year, if y'all can see this, it's where it all comes together. I mean, this year, the theme is State Fair of Texas. And I realize based on the picture, it has nothing to do with State Fair unless Willy Wonka is handing out chocolate bars and Mark Boshier is leading the Oompa Loompa dance line. So we cannot wait to welcome you all to Dallas and show just how worthwhile our partnerships in CTE can be. And a special thank you to Dusty and the team for making it happen. Thank you, guys.
Dusty, we're sorry you had to share the screen with Mark there, but wasn't exactly sure who was coming. Do you mind sharing a few words if you're on here, Dusty?
Sure thing. Well, I would really like to go back to that slide where I think we're Oompa Loompas, because I think that's a lot better picture of Mark and I. So I think that's appropriate. So, and it's also appropriate because every time I get to come to the CTAT roundtables, I'm always amazed at, I don't know who it is on CTAT's Photoshop skills, but somebody has fantastic Photoshop skills. And so that's a great segue as we release Photoshop curriculum and things like that this summer. So, Mark, is that you that has been an expert Photoshopper?
Monique is the main person that does all the Photoshopping and makes pictures of people on beer cans and stuff. So that's who you have to.
Perfect. No, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to speak really quickly and then hop and head to the airport to catch a plane. But we always love CTAT. Like when people ask me what's my favorite conference to go to each year, it's CTAT twice a year because that's where we get to learn a lot. That's where we get to make a lot of new friends, and that's where we get to really I already said learn a lot. So sorry, it's been the end of a long week here in Dallas. But just a great time to fellowship and celebrate all the accomplishments that you guys and your teachers and your students have done throughout the year. And so we're looking forward to it this year. And this year it's extra special being the 25th anniversary. I know Robin and crew have a great time planned with the reception. As for us, we'll be there. People a lot smarter than me to tell you all the new things that ICEV has coming out this summer. People like Sammy, I noticed Sammy was on the call to talk about the new updates for EduThings. We've been doing a lot with that product, and so we'll be talking a lot about that there. Pre and post tests, we're releasing a lot of new pre and post tests that folks are utilizing from a TIA perspective. And then also talking about curriculum and Proclamation 2017, gap years, all of that good stuff. And so I would love to just see you there and look forward to sharing a drink and a story with you and celebrating your accomplishments. So thanks again for having me on.
Dusty, I know you won't toot your own horn, but it'd be hard to imagine career and technical education in Texas now without the contributions through ICV, and we really appreciate it. And this is a legislative year, and I don't think a lot of people know you guys were good partners with us in the last legislative session, helping us on what turned out to be a bill that failed. And also in this legislation, you fought to get members more money to use in evaluating their programs. And just your partnership and all the advocacy you do and all that you do to help design curriculum with the members in mind and things like how to use it in their TIA allotment. Not many folks would go through that extent. So we really appreciate you and appreciate your contribution to CTE.
Well, we are, I've said it a million times. I'm a product of a CTE program. Good portion of our company, in fact, most of our company are products of CTE programs. They taught CTE. They were in your shoes as well as directors of CTE programs. We believe in the mission, and we also know that we're not rocket scientists. If we like to listen and learn and see how we can serve better. And so again, CTAT's a great group to partner with to do that. And so we are looking forward to July.
One more question I think that everyone wants to know is Sammy and Amir going to have a rematch in horse basketball this year at conference?
I think we should arrange that. Absolutely. So Sammy taught Abir is a member of our leadership team who lives in Chicago, and we brought him down for CTAT 2 years ago. And Sammy taught him a lot at that point, but all of y'all did as well. And so it was a great introduction for Abir to the CTE world. So I think we're gonna have to bring him back down and see if he's grown any.
Sammy taught him. Sammy schooled him with that 3-point shot over the storage building into a crooked net.
That he did.
Thank you, Dusty, so much. Appreciate you guys, and thanks, Robin. That went real well.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great meeting.
Have a safe flight.
All right.
Okay, again, like Robin said, thank you so much to ICV. If you remember back to the Winter 25 reception, that was ICV, and they're continuing the tradition this summer. And it just adds so much to conference. We appreciate those guys. Coming up in June 16th through the 18th, Chelsea has been working relentlessly with Leslie to get the forensic and law and public service really tweaked and fine-tuned. And Chelsea, I think it's really going to be a great opportunity for the law and forensics teachers, and they're coming to Sam Houston. And if you haven't got those guys signed up yet, it's not too late, and that's going to be June 16th for the 18th. Chelsea, you know how many we have registered now by chance?
I think we're up to 78, or am I confusing it with 82? We are on track to have an incredible conference and event.
They're going to get tours. They're going to be trained by forensics people. They're going to be work with the Sam Houston State University's department and tour the prison. It's tour the prison museum. It's just going to be an awesome workshop that I think they'll remember for years. So if you have someone that wants to sign up, it is not too late. Get them in there. Again, when we talk about our programming, we talk about all of the stuff that we do throughout the year, and of course the monthly roundtables and the professional conferences. We'll do in district professional development for you. If you need that, you can just email us and we'll put together you a proposal. We do program evaluations. Just wrapped up the last one for May. We do MOA support. Most of the time that's handled through the service centers, but if for some reason your service center does, I don't know of anyone, I think everyone is fully staffed right now, but certainly we're available to do that training if you need it. And your service, sometimes the service centers don't have people in place. And so anyway, we have that available if you need it. And then our area outreach trainings that we'll talk about in a minute, that it really made a difference, not only in professional development, but also in advocacy and CTE awareness across the state. Our next gen administrators just finished up. And we'll have another group starting in September of 2025. As always, the groups are incredible. This group was just fantastic. So many questions. They come better prepared. Chelsea and I have to keep up in the game on the presentations because they come in with so much more knowledge than they did even just 5 years ago. So it's a super impressive next gen cohort. This year we added leadership CTAT, and this is for experienced members that want to get more involved at the area, and they want to get more involved in CTAT at the state level. So we had this programming for them, and this was actually, like everything, a member's idea. Tally Joe Stout, who was the past president, went to Robin and said, "Hey, we got members that want to do this, and they really not sure how." And this is a training that Robin put together and a group, and like Next Gen, they're a formidable group. You know, it's just you can just see the leaders coming out of this for years and years to come. And let me tell you, CTAT's in good shape for years to come because of that. Talking about our area outreach program for professional development, we're continued to do this through the 25-26 years. And again, I think in the legislative session especially, CTE presence has been expanded in Texas so much that we had so much more engagement with legislators and other associations, just I think simply because of these area outreach programs. And so it's a double winner. It helps to provide professional development, and it develops partnerships and helps us in advocacy and expand that CTE footprint across the state. Any of the events that we've talked about, of course, you can go to the ctat.org website, events, and register for all those. June 1st, the next District of Distinction is coming out. And Chelsea said we already had 28 folks that have applied. Is that what I read this morning? 28 folks that have already applied. Again, remember, this is not an award, it's a distinction. If all 28 meet the distinction and they meet it, then it's going to be incredible. But if you do the work, then you deserve the recognition. And that's what the District of Distinction is all about. Get that recognition that you've earned. Nobody's giving it to you. You've actually earned this recognition, this distinction. Important updates. We're going to switch over to Chelsea Reeves. And Chelsea, I have an apology to make for you in front of everyone. I know that you got little Fatina, your new dog, and I didn't have a picture of Fatina yet. So just one Jasper, but I promise the next roundtable, I'll have Fatina's picture in there too.
Good old Patina and
there.
Marvo. Hey, we added another Rugrat to the family. That is Lady June Reeves there with Jasper Tweed. We call her Junebug for fun. And Mark, go ahead and hit that next slide. Jasper really doesn't understand why he received a puppy for his birthday. You can click it one more time. He's learning how to share his toys. It stresses him out a little bit, and he's still very confused. Next slide. As to why June is able to eat out of his food bowl. And he listens very well and is very patient, but June doesn't listen for anything right now. But she's precious, and we're excited to welcome her to the family. So those are the much more photogenic pictures that I have of them. We're going to have to update that one that you have. Isn't that right, Jasper Tweed? Okay, on to the important updates. So everything that we have listed here is available for you in our CTAT chat that came from the desk of Mark Boshier on June 1st. The very first thing that we want to notify you is that the Perkins application opens on June 12th. First and foremost, make sure that you have the correct access and assurances in place. Register for those technical assistance hours and virtual walkthroughs through TEA. Those links are available to you in the newsletter. And then reach out to Mark Boshier or Chelsea Reeves for technical assistance on your Perkins application, and especially reach out to your ESC representatives as well. We are all here to serve and support you. Again, this opens on June 12th, and it's available. There's also grant application training for you that TEA is providing. Great resources, whether it be webinars or anything like that. Another exciting installment is that 25-26 planning amounts and application designation and certification forms for Perkins 5 are now available. And that is the man himself, Mr. Perkins, pictured there. I think Mark Boshier and him are dear friends. There's that laser pointer again. Mark knows that I'm like a cat with a laser, I guess. That's like more distracting than helpful, but I love it, Mark. Thank you so much. So just know that those are available under entitlements webpage, and find those. If you need assistance with that, let us know. Very exciting news from the world of TEA CTE. They actually released a news blast last week. So if you took a mini vacation from graduation to checking back into your summer office hours, make sure that you look back at last week or check your newsletter from Mark Boshier. The application window is now open for new certifications to be evaluated for the 2025 through 2030 IBC list for public school accountability. This is a quick turnaround. It opened on May 28th and it's closing on June 17th, which is about 2 weeks from today. So make sure that you investigate that. Reach out to one another for peer support on Connect Open Forum. Reach out to us or the TEA CTE team if you have any questions. And let's get some really great certifications on that list. So there are also additional resources available for you on the TEA CTE webpage. Those are highlighted for you in the newsletter that you received, but it's also under the About section for the TEA CTE webpage. The CCMR verifier opened on May 30th. This is an important document that you can utilize if you are the designee, or you can support if the CCMR designee differs from you in your position, to identify what TEA has registered and for you to verify your CCMR data. Keep in mind that your verifier, if you find any nuances with PEIMS data, it's not able to be changed via PEIMS. Now, does it hurt to ask? No, because the answer can always just be no, but at least you tried. But if there's something outside of the role of PEIMS that you know and you have local data because you've been using something like EduThings or CareerCraft or local documentation, utilize that to update your data and submit that to the state to ensure that your verifier has the information that you need to make sure that you get that best possible outcome for CCMR. PEIMS summer submission preparation. I hope that you have brought flowers or donuts or a cup of coffee or a Sonic drink in the afternoon to your favorite PEIMS person, and you're not waiting until June 19th to dump everything on their desk for PEIMS summer submission on June 20th. So make sure that if you play a role in that, you are working diligently to identify any and all resources that need to be submitted. And you can support your PEIMS department through any information that they need. If there's anything that you need in support or assistance with that, please let Mark or I know. And also your ESC has great supports and services, not only through the CTE team, but as the PEIMS team as well. The final accountability rating system manual for 2025 ratings are now available. So check those out through the TEA login accountability, TEAL accountability, and review that 2025 accountability manual. There have been some updates for State Board for Educator certification. One such is related to educator prep programs and evaluation of certification eligibility. If you are following SBEC, then you might be receiving those notifications, but always keep in mind that Mark Boshier does a great job of capturing any and all SBOE updates, as well as State Board for Educator certification updates as well. Mark Boshier's got you covered. There's also a really great, still on the docket, they're looking for someone amazing, employment opportunity through the TEA team for a CTE curriculum specialist. If this is something that interests you or someone on your staff that you think would be a great support in this role, it's actually outside of the purview of the TEA CTE team, but they work in partnership with them. It's interesting because, you know, a CTE curriculum specialist sounds very intimidating, because when I think about all of the different programs of study and courses and curriculums that are aligned to that, that is an incredible job. So if that is you or someone you know, check out that TEA job opportunity. We look forward to welcoming the new career and technical student organizations to summer conference. We will have the opportunity for you to meet with each and every one listed here, as well as our continuous and long-term CTSO partners that we have had. I think we're sitting at about just right at 85% total of our CTSOs. Not all are available because they may have a national conference or something like that, but we have great representation of our CTSOs, including all of our new CTSOs. So that way you can connect with them, identify resources that you can share, anything that you can do to align these CTSOs to your programming. There are proposed new CTE employability skills TEKS. I saw today that there was some great chatter in the open forum. So thank y'all for working through that together as a team. Those are proposed and available for review. And we are still awaiting to identify, based on individual courses, if there will be specific technical employability skills specific to some of our skilled trade courses. But these proposed new CTE employability skills would be kind of the benchmark for every single CTE course in existence. So a lot of work went into this. If you tuned into State Board of Education meetings, you saw hours of work go into this, and thank you to those of you that served in support. I know many of you on the call and many of you across the state were tapped in as experts of what were those specific employability skills. And then the SBOE took those and refined them from there. So review those and inform your teachers, especially during in-service, that, hey, it's always best practice to review your TEKS year after year. We know that TEKS have been going through a major overhaul and refresh, and especially with these new CTE employability skills TEKS. I'll also jump on my soapbox for a moment. These employability skills truly do align with choice behavior that we see in the classroom, right? So show these off to your campus administrators, your behavior coordinators on campus, your counselors, your advisors, and showcase and align some of your practices on campuses to what you're doing day in and day out, and what your teachers are doing day in and day out to support those CTE employability skills. So soapbox over. Next slide, Mark Boshier.
Kelsey, I'd like to throw in that public comment is still open until June 16th. And I know for a fact that public comment makes a difference. And
Absolutely.
So if you have a thought or an idea, throw it in the public comment. And it really does matter. It's not like this is concreted in. The idea is concreted in for sure, but as far as tweaking and positive changes, they're open.
Absolutely. We have a great resource and partnership available for you that you're actually going to learn from in August, because we're going to host them here. But there is a program through Scouting America that offers aligned CTE curriculum and resources for teachers and for students. The specific program is called Exploring. And there's a robust website that's available to you in the June chat that really provides great resources for almost all CTE programs of study. And so much so that through this partnership on CTAT's end, we were able to partner with another entity in the world of law enforcement who will now be present at our FLIPS conference. So all it takes, I'm a big believer, and you've heard me say before, your network is your net worth is your network. And all it takes is one conversation to then get you introduced to someone else that can really make a positive impact on your programming. So check out this great opportunity that is free 99. That's right, free 99. We love that in the world of CTE and in education. A great resource available for you guys to check out. Goodbye, 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 Texas CTE Resource Center. So long, farewell, avidas and adieu. It is gone in terms of resources that are utilized for curriculum. Some resources still remain, but make sure, and this is also a note to myself, that anytime you showcase, hey, this is a great resource for you to utilize, we probably need to unlink that and be on the lookout for other things through the TEA website or other avenues. So make sure that you have removed those resources from your docket.
I need to remove that link from all our other resources that I put on intranet and all that.
I do too, Marlon, for sure, because there are many slide decks that Chelsea has that's like, check out this great resource. So that's a great note for all of us. There's a Texas Workforce Commission grant opportunity available. It's the equipment only grant, and that is available for application, and check out more information on that in the chat.
And that needs to support existing dual credit.
And that needs to support existing dual credit. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mark.
Well, it's different than the JET per se
Correct.
in small space. Yeah.
And here's a little known fact that Ma and I were wondering, how are programs of study related to state
It's doing this work.
funding? Well, those CTE courses
I'm
for high school
multitasking.
credit.
I'm listening to guys.
Perfect, Sean. Thank you. Those CTE courses for high school credit receive that additional tiered weighted funding for students in grades 7 through 12. And then the CTE lookup tables provide a list of CTE courses within programs of study, as well as those not in programs of study. So great resources available there for all stakeholders to understand. And now back to Mark Boshier.
So happy to be in a picture with little Parvo. So in the news for CTE this month was Montgomery ISD was given an update at their school board meeting. It was posted in the paper, and of course they're building. The update really revolved around the new CTE center that they're building there. And sometimes I have folks that ask, well, how do you get these? And literally I Google CTE in the news, Texas, and what pops up is what comes on. And so congratulations to Montgomery ISD for your new CTE center and making the news out there. Our ESC spotlight this year is on Region 13 and their specialists. And of course, they really work to empower CTE programs. They're the hub, and they're driven by a dedicated team of specialists with Jill and Josh and Lisa and Maya out there, and they provide support to enhance CTE programs and align them with workforce needs and state guidelines. And of course, it's all in helping to prepare these students for high wage, high demand careers. And thank you to Region 13 for providing the services, resources, and partnership needed to improve CTE programs and help out our students in Texas. So that being said, I'm going to stop sharing and take us back in, unpin Chelsea, and take us back into gallery mode and see what's on ever. Oh, one other thing that came up in the area president's meeting, is it 1191, Chelsea? The bill? Senate Bill 1191.
Pop quiz. I think so. I'll confirm. You keep going.
Okay, so there is a bill that is passed through. It hasn't been signed yet, but it's not official, but it looks like it's going to be. And this is the only bill that I know of that puts restrictions on how a school can do its graduation, or how it can do its GPA and its class rank. And basically House Senate Bill 1191, and basically what it says is you cannot weight WECM courses for the same weight that you weight general academic dual credit for. And so if you think about it, none of us would go out there and try to say that dual credit welding should get the same, should get more points than high school pathophysiology. And both are equally tough and both are good deals, but it's just, I think sometimes dual crediting the CTE probably hurts CTE students more than it did anything else. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. But it looks like that bill's going to pass, and that is quite a bit of outreach. And I think it opens a door that they might not want to open in the future when they start talking about how to regulate high school GPA and high school class rank. So anyway, but that came up in the area president's meeting, and Chelsea actually found that in the legislative update. Other than that, the floor. Go ahead.
So Mark, this
Yeah.
is Jennifer Edenfield. So I kind of, because we have a very large dual credit CTE program down here at Galveston. I mean, almost every program of study has dual credit in it within CTE at some point, form, fashion. And so my question is, because when I sent that, and thank you, I think it was Tracy that put it in there in CTAT. And so when I saw that, I screenshot that and sent it to my college and was like, hey, are y'all aware of this? They're like, what are you talking about? They didn't even know. And so they were going to kind of dig into it. But do y'all know if they have specified like what the GPA has to be? So like, I mean, it could literally just be 1/10 of a point less than regular dual credit. But the problem is that then you have to turn around and you have to get that passed by your board. And then you can't just make it effective immediately. Like you have to say, this is effective for your freshman class coming in the year of 2025. And that piece. So it still isn't going to affect your other 3 classes that are above you. So then it's like now you're having to go out and totally turn around and recreate courses again with a different GPA. And since we're talking about dual credit, I will just say, I know this is more on the CCMR piece, but for those of you that offer college prep math and college prep English, which you should be anyway, just FYI, that from chapter 74. But the thing is that when they sent out the new PEIMS changes for service IDs, every junior college now has their own service ID. So you need to look at that change log and make sure that if you have that with your community college, that you have the right service ID that pertains strictly to your community college, not just the overall college prep, math and English service ID.
Jennifer, I had not heard that. I'm making myself a note here. Service
Yeah.
ID by community college. Yeah.
Yes. And so then, but I guess that was my question. Does anybody know, like, have they specified anything on, I mean, do you go ahead? It's kind of shaky to me, I guess. Do you go ahead and start planning for that with the WECM and the regular dual credit, or do you wait for that to actually pass?
I would wait, but it's going to be, you're going to know in a matter of weeks, not months. So, but I'd wait till it actually became law. But this is like I said, this is the only piece of legislative information anywhere that tells a school how to figure its GPA. And so it's really weird, and the way that it's written in law. But I think I was saying earlier, what Robin taught me many years ago is that what's written in law sometimes doesn't come out the same in rulemaking. And so I'd wait for rulemaking to come in and tell you what the final is going to be. Robin, you probably have great thoughts on that too. Anything different?
Absolutely. We've got to wait. I don't know how many bills pass this session that are related to education that require rulemaking, but now TEA has the heavy lift ahead of them. And even though it says effective September 1, That doesn't mean that we'll have a rule by then. So statute is where the law is changed and written. And so rulemaking is with the Texas Administrative Code, right? The statutes are in the Education Code and the rules are in the Administrative Code. And this day and age, TEA and the commissioner have got to take on that responsibility. So it is a waiting game.
But Jennifer, I have the bill pulled up, and you're exactly right. It just says has to be different. It doesn't say how different, or so it's going to be unique to see how it shakes out. But like I said, it's my personal 2 cents is that unless it counts for a core academic graduation requirement, English, math, science, social security, social studies. That's how old I am, Miles. I'm thinking about social security. Then I wouldn't count it in the GPA at all, but that's just me. All right, very good. Any other comments on that, Bill? That's great
Mark,
input.
I just want to, I guess I also have that question because it's very limited to what it says. Does this imply that they should have additional weight, or that is not what it's implying? Like it could have no additional weight? Because it doesn't say that, but it kind of makes it seem like they're supposed to, but.
No, you're right. It just says it can't be the same. So it can be no weight. It could be like Jennifer. If you read it literally as it says now, it could be 0.01 less. But I'm really thinking that rulemaking is going to come in there and give some guidance on this one.
Okay, that's
So-
kind of what we figured, but it was like everything else is kind of gray. And then also to add to that college prep comment, if you all noticed, there was only about 5 vendors approved for the college prep ELA and none for math. And how we've been warned for a while that changes were coming to college prep, but that gives us 1 more year to step it up more into CTE, because it just every fall they're going to be updating that list, but it seems like it's going to be very difficult to get our IHEs to get on there. So that's a little interesting for CCMR purposes.
Chelsea, I learn something every time we get on here, and this is why I love the roundtable so much, because we have the most informed members in the state, and that's something that I actually looked at about a week ago, where the service ID numbers for those college prep stuff, and so that's all changing. Thank you, Claudia and Jennifer. Those are great points. Any other comments on that, or? It's open forum. Any comments you have? Rick, how are things at the beach?
Life is good, Mark.
Good. Fantastic. Ms. Glasscock, do you have anything to add about the SPEC requirements for the educator prep programs?
I don't.
Well, do you mind sharing with everyone your role on SPEC real quick? I'm not sure everyone knows that.
Yeah, I'm actually the council representative for the state on SBEC.
And so all of the educator prep programs, they come through you guys.
For approval and then review. I will say, don't get in trouble. That's been the most interesting part of being on SBEC, or the sanctions, and most of them get handled by TEA before they get to us, but the ones that actually get to us, people do some crazy stuff, guys.
Well, yes, I know that's true. Thank you so much, Ms. Glasscock, for sharing that role. And serving in that.
A quick question. Any word on ROTC? I know it's been talked about that's here and there, but anything as far as, do we need to get ready for that, or is that just something not to worry about for a couple of years?
Sergio, I'm so sorry. I jumped. You're exactly right. Let me
And that's what we could start working with the instructors, because if we let them know that, that way we could start softening.
Sergio, you can see that slide that says advocacy. Can you see that? Okay, so Chelsea, can you see the slideshow again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I meant to skip down to advocacy and just forgot, to be honest. But earlier in the year, actually beginning at the end of last year, CTAP put together an advocacy task force, and there were members from every area that showed on that, and they came up with a list of CTE priorities that CTAP was going to push, and or CTAP was going to endorse and try to get behind and make sure it happened. And anyway, some of those priorities become laws, and sometimes they don't, and sometimes it takes 6 years for an ideal to become even a bill. But anyway, it's just the direction. That task force drives the direction of CTAP. And so here are some of the bills, and every one of these bills was in the list of priorities for CTAP. And so House Bill 20 established a new applied science pathway. And this is literally 6 years they've been trying to get this bill passed, and it still isn't across the threshold yet, but it's very, very close. But that's Representative Gates in the Houston area that's been pushing that. But anyway, so we had all these different bills. Reimbursement of certification fees, putting JROTCs in weighted fund to get CTE weighted funding. Rule the RPEP program to get extra money and have included in the CCMR, and raising the allotment for PTEC students, getting multiple certifications through to get on the reimbursement list where you can reimburse more than one certification, ancillary costs, all that was part of the CTE priorities. And all of that became a part of House Bill 120. Sorry, Sergio, I made a short story long, but basically that was in House Bill 120 that is passed through the House and passed through the Senate and is waiting on the governor to sign. And this was the governor's bill that he worked very closely with Chairman Buckley on. And so they actually shepherd that through. And so we believe with 99% certainty, Sergio, that House Bill 120 is going to become law, and that is going to include JROTC in career and technical education.
So should we get ready for the 25-26 year on this?
I believe I would, yes. And at the end of the day, they're going to have to come in and develop Teach for ROTC, and I look for them to add a certification, an IBC for it as well. Great question, Sergio. Any other questions?
And Mark,
Yes, sir.
somebody put a question in the chat about new service IDs, and there's been a couple answers, but on Monday, our region center gave us an update and provided a change document. I shared the link in the chat too, in case, I don't know, our person may get a whole lot of requests pretty soon. I may have bugged them, but that's at least what they provided us, and maybe that'll be helpful to people.
And you're specifically referencing principles of technology becoming physics for engineering.
And the BIM courses
Right.
that you heard were changing.
Yeah, that's hang on. And I apologize because we actually covered this in the past two sessions of the roundtable. And so let me go back and put those in there for the BIM. It's sometimes hard to know what to take out and what to leave in. So there's the new BIM. And of course, BIM 1 and BIM 2 became Foundations of Business Communications Technology and Business Communications and Technology. And the service ID numbers just went with them. And of course, they'll get new ticks out before they do that. So thank you guys all for bringing that up. And let's see, Miss Chandler, Miss Chandler posted something in there. Was anything different than what we just discussed?
Nope, that's perfect. I love when I am sidetracked and not watching the chat like I should. And now I have two brand new resources that I get to utilize. So thanks, team.
Thanks, Miles, for putting that link in there. That Miles Van is an overachiever, guys.
No.
He is, he's,
Rachel did a whole lot better job than I did.
he's like that squirrel. He's always pedaling in that cage, Jason. He's always got something going. You can hook him up to make his own electricity.
Called a hamster.
Yeah.
It's not a squirrel, it's a hamster.
And Rachel Benke stepped in there and she was talking about the great work that Heather did at Region 17 for those steps. And of course, Heather's been a CTE All-Star for a long time. So thank you, Heather.
Hey,
Thanks,
both-
Rachel, for pointing that out. Anything else?
Paul's been kind of quiet, Mark. I know I saw him on, but
Paul sent me a text and he had to jump off. He is serving on the board of directors for the State FFA Association, and he hopped on Zoom and had to hop off because they're doing board of directors work there in the FFA too.
he is a cowboy.
He is. He knows a lot about sheep. I know that. Mr. Cooper, how are your new digs down there in Johnson County?
They're good. It's a little quieter over here, that's for sure.
Well, I know Louisville is sorry to see you go, and Cleveland's lucky to have you. Congratulations.
Mark, I think
You're-
with about 4 minutes left, are we ready to stop the recording and jump into the Slack?
I think so. Good point, Chelsea. Anyone else have anything for the general welfare of the group that can make it to the recording? Well, if not, then we're going to stop recording right here and head into the Slack and see if we have any after hours comments.